Hi friends, welcome to my YouTube channel SS Analysis. Today I am going to analyze the movements of Nifty 50 in different time frames because today the Nifty has shown the first sign of exhaustion. Friends, this is a daily chart where I find that here at the levels of 12,094 finally Nifty is facing tough resistance. Yesterday Nifty touched these highs, but today I find that after touching these levels, we have seen some signs of exhaustion in Nifty till the closing of June 4th. Let me show you this daily chart. Let me zoom this. So here in this chart, I would like to tell you that on June 3rd, we have seen Nifty in strong position, but today on June 4th, when the Indian economy is going to have our next RBI meeting, when we will find the possibilities of a rate cut up to 50 basic points, and finally after the meeting of June 4th to June 6th, decision taken in RBI policy meeting will be finally announced on June 6th on Thursday. Therefore, at this moment, Nifty looks too indecisive amid growing concerns on various fronts. If we have a look at the national front, we will find that the current government has to take a plethora of problems when they will consider next budget. No doubt they will have to deal with many problems, from growing unemployment to growing non-performing assets of banks, and especially the public sector banks come under bearish pressure due to growth of non-performing assets. Therefore, I find that at the current levels, I find this is the first sign of exhaustion which we have seen today in Nifty index, and therefore I find that during the days ahead, a move below the levels of 11,900 will result in the beginning of a downward trend in Nifty index. Therefore, I find that this zone where I find my first resistance level on a downward move, I find this a first support where we will have to see the next move of Nifty index, and this is my first resistance, what I will call my immediate resistance for Nifty at the level of 12,096. Here you can see that after touching this immediate resistance, Nifty index moved downward and has formed an exhaustive candle in a daily chart. Friends, I call this zone from the levels of 11,969 to 12,101. This zone, I use the term, this is the zone which I would like to term as a trapping zone, where the Nifty bulls are being trapped because Nifty has already gone in an overbought territory when this gap was created on May 20th, 2019. Since then, we found that this was the time when the Indian equity markets were behaving indecisively due to growing euphoria of elections, and when on May 23rd, when the final outcome of elections come out, we have seen heavy selling on the day when the final election results were out. No doubt that some bounce backs were there, and finally on June 3rd, no doubt that the Nifty index found some strength, but today on June 4th, I find that this formation of an exhaustive candle in a daily chart means a lot for me, where I find that a sustainable move below the level of 11,900 will result in the advent of a downtrend during the days ahead. So friends, be careful when you trade amid this trapping zone. Don't try to be bullish at these levels, because I find that this zone from these levels to this level is a trapping zone, especially when the Nifty is trading amid this zone at the time when the whole world is passing through growing fear of economic slowdown, I don't find Indian equity markets to behave against the prevailing circumstances at global level, and I find that if we have a look at the movements of global equity indices, especially the US and China indices, all of them are undergoing bearish pressure. Therefore, I find that the Nifty will try to break the immediate support at 20 days exponential moving average in a daily chart, which is currently at the level of 11,755, and I find that a downward move below this level will confirm the continuity of a downward trend in Nifty index. Therefore, I decided to have a look at the Nifty futures. So friends, this is a daily chart of Nifty futures where you can see the formation of a shooting star in the daily chart in the Nifty futures, where this formation of an exhaustive candle looks evident enough about the continuation of a downward trend due to going bearish pressure, where the Nifty futures are not able to break the levels of 12,118, and here I find that a thick presence of bears above these levels who look eager to go short in Nifty futures. Therefore, I find that during the month of June, Nifty futures may see the lows of 10,676. So friends, this is my expected trading zone for Nifty futures for the month of June. Here I find that we must have a look at the movement of Nifty futures in a daily chart. So in a daily chart, here you can see that the Nifty futures, after facing a tough resistance at this level where they finally tried on June 3rd, and once again they tried today here to break these levels, but I find that the Nifty futures have currently trading below the levels of 12,067, where I find that if we have a look at the current position of moving averages, I find that the 20 days exponential moving average has come below the 20 days moving average, and on the other hand 50 days exponential moving average is still above the 50 days moving average. But I find that the growing selling pressure is evident enough for an advent of a downward move in Nifty futures, where I find that in an hourly chart, if the Nifty futures make a sustainable move below the level of 11,900, we will see the continuation of a downward trend in Nifty futures. So therefore, I decided to map the current moves of Nifty futures in a 15-minute chart to understand how and why the Nifty futures look ready to take a decisive move today on June 4th, before we are going to see the outcome of RBI rate decision on Thursday. Tomorrow, Indian equity markets will not be opening. Therefore, it is a very decisive time for Nifty futures to take a decisive move today till the closing. So friends, this is a 15-minute chart of Nifty futures which I have just prepared to see how and why the Nifty futures will take a decisive move which will decide the further directional move of Nifty futures till today's closing. Therefore, I find that currently the Nifty futures in the 15-minute chart have been moving downward continuously after touching the highs of 12,112. We can see formation of too many exhaustive candles in the 15-minute chart, which makes it evident enough the continuation of going bearish pressure in Nifty futures, where I have constructed some decisive zones for June 4th, where the Nifty futures will finally decide their further directional move till today's closing. Therefore, if the Nifty futures remain amid this zone till the weekly closing, this is my consolidation zone, where we will find Nifty futures, where I find if we see the Nifty futures to close amid this zone from the levels of 12,052 to 12,085, then I find that the Nifty futures will remain in consolidation phase during the days ahead till we find any bullish or bearish news on national front or well at the international front. But if we find Nifty futures to close above the level of 12,087 amid this zone up to the level of 12,118, which I define as bullish zone, where the closing of Nifty futures will remain in strong position during the upcoming days. And on the other hand, if we find the Nifty futures to close amid this zone, which starts from the level of 12,119 to 12,143, this is my breakout zone, and I find if the Nifty future closes today amid this zone, I find the Nifty futures to remain in bullish mode on the opening of next trading session on Thursday. So on Thursday, we will see the Nifty futures will decide definitely their course of action for Thursday on today's closing levels. And on the other hand, if the Nifty futures continues to fall down and enter in this bearish zone and gives a closing amid this bearish zone, I find then the Nifty futures will remain under bearish pressure during the upcoming week. So friends, I find that this bearish zone starts below the levels of 12,052. If I find a closing of Nifty futures below the level of 12,000, no doubt that the Nifty futures will remain under bearish pressure. So friends, it will be very interesting to keep a visual eye over the closing levels of Nifty futures on June 4th. So thank you friends, thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, don't forget to share this video with your more and more friends. Thank you.